You ever chase a huge goal for what feels like forever? The big promotion, hitting that six-figure salary, reaching some financial milestone you just knew would change everything. And then you get there. And for a minute, it's awesome. But then pretty quick, the excitement just kind of fades. Life feels almost exactly the same, and you're left thinking, is this it? If that sounds at all familiar, you are definitely not alone. So let's get into the powerful psychological reason this happens to pretty much everyone. All right, to really get to the heart of this, let's just set a scene that I think a lot of us are going to recognize. It's that story of finally crossing a finish line you have been sprinting towards for a very long time. So maybe for you, it's that promotion. You know the one you put in all the extra hours for, the one with the better title, maybe the corner office. You've been grinding for this specific thing for months, maybe even years. Or, hey, maybe it's not a title, it's a number. That six-figure income that you saw as the key to freedom. The milestone you told yourself would finally let you breathe and make all the stress just melt away. Look, whatever it is, it's your dream goal. And you have played the movie in your head 1,000 times of what it's going to feel like. That deep sense of relief, that rock-solid confidence, that lasting happiness that's for sure going to come with it. But then the day actually comes, and the celebration feels weirdly short. The excitement is there, but it's fleeting. And then, much faster than you ever expected, life just goes back to normal. So what gives? Why does the reality of success so rarely live up to the fantasy? Well, this experience is so incredibly common. I'm talking from top entrepreneurs to Olympic athletes, that psychologists have actually given it a name. And this name is the key to understanding that weird, empty feeling. And here it is. It's called the Arrival Fallacy. It's this mistaken belief we all have that happiness is a destination. It's a place we arrive at, like a train station, and once we get there, we just get to stay in that happy place forever. We tell ourselves these stories all the time, right? When I get X, then I'll feel Y. And they are fantastic motivators. They get us out of bed, they push us to do amazing things. But they hide this really dangerous assumption about how our brains are actually wired to experience reward. So, the reason that finish line almost never delivers on its promise isn't because success is meaningless. Not at all. It's because of this powerful, kind of hidden survival mechanism that's always running in the background of our minds. It's a process called hedonic adaptation, and it works in this really predictable cycle. So, first, you reach the goal. And boom, you get that amazing spike of happiness. But almost immediately, your brain starts to recalibrate. That incredible new feeling, it becomes your new emotional baseline. It becomes the new normal. And that's the punchline, right? The incredible achievement, the huge salary, that dream promotion. It all just becomes your new baseline. And once something is normal, your brain stops giving you that big hit of satisfaction for it. It's already scanning the horizon for the next thing. And this brings us to the core insight, the real aha moment behind why we feel this way, and more importantly, how we can start to think about our goals a little differently. This is the fundamental truth we just miss all the time. Our brains are wired to reward the pursuit, not the destination. The progress, the striving, the feeling of moving towards a goal, that's what lights up all the motivation and excitement circuits. But once the goal is achieved, the brain's reward signal for that specific target just quietly switches off. Its job is done. And listen, this isn't some personal failing. It is a universal human experience. We see this in the highest achievers on the planet. Olympic athletes talk about feeling a strange emptiness after winning a gold medal. Founders feel it after selling the company they poured their life into. It is just part of the human condition. Let's make this super concrete with an example most of us can relate to, a money goal. For years, maybe the magic number was saving $100,000. That number felt huge, right? Like a real symbol of security and success. But the second you get there, something fascinating happens. That $100,000, it basically becomes your new zero. And almost immediately, your mind just moves the goalpost. All of a sudden, you're thinking, okay, what about $250,000? And the pattern just repeats itself over and over. The satisfaction you thought was waiting at one number is now just projected onto the next bigger number. And this exact same loop happens with promotions, dream houses, you name it. So, what are we supposed to do with all this? If Arrival isn't the real answer, should we just give up on having big, ambitious goals? No, absolutely not. Goals are essential. They give us direction, they build discipline, they drive our growth. The mistake isn't having goals. The mistake is outsourcing all of our potential for happiness to some future event that, by its very nature, is just going to feel normal once we get there. So how do we build a healthier approach? Well, it starts by valuing the process, the daily grind and the learning, as much as you value the outcome. It means you have to intentionally celebrate your wins because your brain will just normalize them if you don't. It's about picking goals that actually improve your daily life, not just some distant future status. And maybe the most powerful thing of all, just notice when your brain moves the goalposts. Just seeing the pattern can change everything. This is the quiet psychological trap of ambition, isn't it? We're all convinced that true, lasting contentment is just waiting for us right beyond that next milestone. But our brains evolved for survival, and being permanently satisfied would have meant we'd stop progressing. Which leads us to a final, pretty provocative question. We spend our whole lives focused on these destinations, these summits. But what if we've been looking in the completely wrong place the whole time? What if the feeling we're chasing isn't actually at the top? Because for the human mind, the reward doesn't live at the destination. It lives in the movement, in the progress, in the striving. The real secret to fulfillment isn't finally arriving. It's learning to love the climb itself.